You wake up exhausted. You go to bed even more exhausted. Yet somehow, at midnight, you are lying there wide awake, scrolling through your phone. You feel too wired to rest, but too depleted to actually do anything. If that's you, I want you to know something. The standard productivity advice to join a 5 a.m. club or optimize your morning routine wasn't built for you. In fact, it's probably making you feel worse. I've been thinking about this a lot since I visited 2 friends of mine recently. They are both senior software engineers, brilliant people, but they just had their second baby. Right now, they're surviving on less than 4 hours of sleep a night. We were having dinner, and they told me this story I hear all the time nowadays. They know AI is moving fast. They know they need to keep learning to stay relevant in their jobs, but they have zero bandwidth left. Every single hour is claimed by the baby, the toddler, or the work. They look smart and kind, also completely wrecked. I realized that most productivity advice assumes you have control over your time, but my friends do not, and maybe you don't either. I dug into the research to find a solution for them, and I found researchers actually have a term for this. If your life is dictated by other people's needs, if you are a parent, a shift worker, or a manual laborer, you are a high-constraint person, or HCP for short. Being an HCP isn't just about being busy, it's a distinct physiological state. You have almost zero control over your time. You aren't failing at time management, you are surviving a resource shortage. So, why is the fatigue so deep? Before we talk about habits or hacks, we have to talk about your biology. There is a massive overlap between the symptoms of burnout or even clinical depressions and simple biological deficiencies. Many people wondering if they were depressed or if they've just lost it. But in reality, you might just be low on fuel. If you are an HCP, you are burning through nutrition faster than the average person. So before you try to fix your life, please go get some blood work done. You need to look at your vitamin D levels, which basically regulate your sleep-wake rhythm. You need to check vitamin B12, because being low on that feels just like brain fog. And really importantly, check your ferritin. That is your ion storage. If that is low, your brain literally struggles to synthesize dopamine. You might think you are lazy, but you are actually just ion deficient. I made a hidden fatigue checklist that lists these markers and the target range from the research. There is a link in the descriptions. You do not need to give me your emails or sign up for anything. Just download it and take it to your doctor. Please, rule this out first. Now, assuming your blood work is okay, we need to look at how to get your energy back. We are going to look at these in 3 specific levels. First, we will tackle the physical recovery, how to rest when you can't sleep. Then, we will look at psychological recovery, how to stop work stress from bleeding into your home life. And finally, we will talk about dopamine management, how to stop that late night scrolling habit. Let's start with the physical side. If you are a new parent or a shift worker, telling you to get 8 hours of continuous sleep is a joke. It is not happening. So, we need a different tool. If you can't sleep, you need to preserve your wakefulness. The best tool for this is something called non-sleep deep rest, or NSDR. You might have heard of yoga Nidra. This is very different from meditation. Meditation is work because it requires focus. If you are exhausted, meditation is really hard. NSDR is a biological reboot. It is a script you listen to that directs your attention to different parts of your body. Here's how you can actually use it. When you hit the afternoon wall, or maybe right before you have to pick up the kids, you don't scroll Instagram. You go to your car, recline the seat, put in your headphones, and play a 10 minutes NSDR track. You can find these for free right here on YouTube or on apps like Insight Timer. Just search for NSDR or Yoga Nidra. You don't have to try to relax, you just listened. Research shows that even a short 10 or 20 minute section can move your brain from those high stress beta waves down into deep relaxation theta waves. It replenishes neuron chemicals in your brain so you have the fuel to get through the rest of the evening without snapping at everyone. The other part of physical recovery is realizing that not all tiredness is the same. We tend to treat fatigue like it is one big thing, but scientifically there are 2 types, peripheral fatigue and central fatigue. If you are a manual laborer or a nurse on your feet all day, or you are carrying a toddler around, you have peripheral fatigue. Your muscles are tired and your body is inflamed. For you, the standard advice of going for a run to clear a head might actually make you burn out faster. You need decompression. The most effective thing you can do is something called legs up the wall. Literally, you lie on the floor, scoot your butt against the wall, and put your legs straight up. Stay there for 10 minutes. It drains the fluid from your legs, helps with circulation, and calms your nervous system without spending a single calorie. And this is also very time efficient. But if you are a knowledge worker, if you sit in the meetings all day, you have central fatigue. Your body is stagnant, but your brain is fried. For you, laying on the couch is actually a trap. It lets your brain keep spinning in anxiety loops while your body feels lethargic. You actually do need to move. You need a system flush. A 15 minutes brisk walk or even just doing some jumping jacks pushes blood to your brain and clears out the metabolic waste, the neuron toxins, which make you feel foggy. Okay, so that is the body. Now we need to deal with the psychological toll. The biggest issue for people with high constraint lives is that there are no boundaries. Work stress comes home with you, and home chaos goes to work with you. You never get a break. We need to reclaim what Dr. Adam Fraser calls the third space. This is that transitional gap between your roles. Here's what it looks like in real life. When you park your car in the driveway after work, do not open the door yet. Don't look at your phone. You can use a simple script called reflect, rest, reset. First, reflect on the work date and mentally close the tab. Say to yourself, work is done. Then, rest. Take 1 minute of silence. Just breathe. Finally, reset your intention. Ask yourself, how do I want to walk through that door? Maybe your intention is, I want to be a patient father, or I want to be a present partner. It sounds small, but creating that mental airlock stops the stress from bleeding all over your evening. And for the parents out there, we have to talk about the mental load. That invisible checklist of doctor appointments, groceries, and school forms, trying to hold all that in your head burns massive amounts of glucose. You can try what science called cognitive offloading. Get a giant whiteboard for your kitchen and call it a family command center. For example, draw 3 simple boxes: to do, to buy, and this week. The second you notice you're out of diapers, don't try to remember it. Write it in the to buy box. The moment you get the email about crazy hair date at school, write it in the this week box. And here's the best part. When your partner asks, what is the plan for Saturday? Or your kid asks, what's for dinner? You don't have to use your precious energy to answer. You just point at the board. This sounds way too simple, but getting those 50 tiny details out of your head and onto the wall is the only way to stop feeling mentally heavy. Okay, finally, we have to talk about the things everyone feels bad about. You know the feeling, you finally got the kids to sleep, or maybe you just finished your shift and it is finally quiet. You know you should sleep, but you stay up scrolling on your phone or start watching Netflix. My friend told me that this is the only time they feel free. They sit on the couch together and don't even talk. They just scroll, because it is the only moment that belongs to them. This is called revenge bedtime procrastination. And please, don't feel guilty or ashamed about it. You aren't doing it because you are lazy or undisciplined. You are doing it because of an autonomy deficit. Think about it. Your entire day belongs to someone else. The night is the only time that feels like it belongs to you. Your brain is starving for the sense of freedom, so it steals time from your sleep to get it. The problem is, you are trading tomorrow's energy for tonight's dopamine. To fight this, don't try to use willpower. You are out of willpower by 10 p.m. anyway. Instead, use a technique called urge serving. When you feel the urge to open social media, don't fight it. Just acknowledge it. Say to yourself, I have an urge to scroll because I want to feel free. Then, set a timer on your phone for 3 minutes. Just sit there. Watch the urge like a wave in the ocean. Notice how it feels in your chest or in your hands. Usually, the intense chemical spikes of craving breaks within 3 minutes. If you can surf that wave, you can put the phone down and go to sleep without the battle. And if the urge is still screaming at you after 3 minutes, fine, you give it a shot. Open the app, but try again tomorrow. It is about building the muscle, not being perfect. I want to leave you with these thoughts. The concept of work-life balance is alive for people in your situation. Balance implies that you can keep everything steady and equal. You can't. Instead, I want you to aim for work-life rhythm. Respect your body's needs to pause between the stress and the rest. Even if it is just in those 10 minutes micro recoveries in the car. If you are raising kids or working shifts or holding down a physically demanding job, you are playing life on a hard mode. You have taken on more responsibility and more pressure than most people ever will. That is something to be proud of. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to survive the season you are in. And honestly, thank you for watching this. I know how precious your time is, so the fact that you spend 10 minutes here means a lot. I've put their recovery menus and the checklist in the description if you want them. Again, no emails needed. Just take them if they help. I'll see you in the next one.